Hello everyone and welcome back to game 2 of the day here at Regionals. We join you, Darren Curry and myself, from field 1.
Jason God.
We're in for, I don't know, I am cautious to say it will be a good game. Gradient are just coming off of a surprise defeat, whereas against Zephyr, I believe 15-11, whereas Marty's Mutiny had a strong game 1, 15-1 against UCT. So interesting to see what Gradient can do and if they can pull things back after the last game. Darren, how are you feeling going into this game?
Agreed, Jason. The narrative's changed quite a bit. This is what many expected to be a bit of a battle for first and second at this tournament, but with the surprise loss to Zephyr from Gradient, they will be looking to get some pride out of this. Mutiny is still the favorites, but we'll find out what the game says. Gradient on O to start. James Granelli picks up on the far sideline. Doesn't look to continue the flow. Staggered for a bit. Finds Bernard Strauss in the underspace. Marked by John T. Thompson sporting his early morning pants.
We do love some Hello Kitty.
Hello, John T. Vian van Sale upfield.
Many people's fantasy pick of choice if he was to be on the rosters.
If only he allowed us to do what the fans want.
Yeah, and give the fans what they want. Turnover by Gradient. Long O point. It was looking quite easy. It didn't look like they were forcing anything. I was enjoying seeing what they were doing.
Agreed. Probably the easiest throw there. Simple swing to the center was met with turf. Unfortunate. Dylan Sims
picks up and swings to Doug.
Gradient in a zone to start. Not that windy, but doesn't mean they can't play zone. As Aiden Klein saves one falling to the ground. Nick Anderson leads!
And Scott milks it into the end zone. That's 1-0, first break of the game, and good to see Mutiny doing good things.
Certainly. Much similar to their game earlier in the league season. Mutiny, I don't say walking against the wind in that game. Quite comfortably defeating Gradient. Gradient will be looking to salvage some pride for that as well. A bit of law in this narrative that's going on. Jason, any positives? Any very early positives from the game so far?
I mean, teams take things very easy on in the beginning, often, taking a minute to wind up. But it was good to see Gradient's offense very calm. I don't know how much pressure there was being applied by Mutiny at this point, early point in the game. But I was keen to see while, they didn't quite get the flow that I think they normally strive to hit, they managed to work the disc most of the way up the field.
Gradient receiving again. Mutiny's D-line of sorts coming out for a second point in a row.
Can we go back if I ask?
As Scott Glennie launches one into the pine sky. It lands in. It's told to us that it's very good. Josh Hansen has decided it's very good.
Looks like the disc is out the back though. Nick brings us to front. Shame. Gradients are already struggling a bit. I know Nick's got a bit of a tummy bug. So he was struggling a lot in that first game. Oh my. Grab by Fabio there.
Tom Smythe, one of their leadership and very important players, also out for possibly a few weeks with an ankle injury. Not helpful to them at this tournament. Vian van Sale picks up in a power position. Thinks better of it. There's a bit of stagnation in reset space and Daddy goes lateral.
Love to see that.
Van Sale again to Zalumis. Pushing forward through the middle. Dylan Sims cleans up with a deep look and centers to Klein. Klein to Anderson near side. Field is opened up as the resetters look for upline for Sims. Vert stack is being called and completely ignored.
That was not on camera. I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. Great grab by Nick to save play for Mutiny there. Bill's looking cross field. Finds Sam nice and open. Sam milks it in for a score.
It's a dairy farm here. We're milking these. Sam Combrank reels a second break in a row for Mutiny. Positive start from them. Gradient not looking out of it. Just 1 or 2 turnovers costing them in what will be a critical defense that Mutiny brings.
As you can see on the stats, that's 2 breaks for Mutiny, so not an ideal start for Gradient if they do have any chances or aspirations to be playing a tight game here. Darren, what adjustments do you think we need to see, or is this purely just hey, we need to catch our discs?
I think still early in the game, still a bit of adjustment, still that lingering sense of we just lost the game we shouldn't have. Probably about reeling it in. They've shown they can take patience, take time on the disc. Maybe it is a bit of that to just remind themselves that they can catch disc, they can play ball.
I think
Still a whole game ahead.
Definitely clean it up a bit in terms of the structure. There was a few times where I see people standing in spaces that is very anti the flow structure that I think they're trying to accomplish.
Coming off an earlier game actually where UCT seemed to implement a similar strategy, having a lot of cuts come in the middle, but also offering deep options. Perhaps some notes to share on a flowy structure. Paul Vickers now enthusiastically faking.
Oh, I don't think that was meant for James. I think that was meant for Tim.
A bit of a powerful dump. Doesn't end well. It rarely does. As Josh Hansen finds a mullet in the end zone.
Josh to Bart. Off they go.
A mullet, Jason, is a kind of fish.
That is a good observation, Darren. It's also a kind of hairstyle.
If you had to keep one at home, which one of them? Clearly, which one would you choose?
I think the hair kind would probably be a bit easier to keep at home, seeing as I don't really have a fish tank, unless I was planning on eating the mullets. Personally, I'm not about that life. I can't say that I want to eat my own hair, though.
Jason loves hair. Jason saves the fish. What can this man not do?
Generally, I like the hair on my head, though, not in my mouth.
Not in the plate.
I do find hairs in my plate from time to time, you know. Sometimes cooking doesn't go well, or you buy something, and what do you do at that point?
Oh.
What's your go-to, Darren?
In terms of hair, not a mullet. Not on this man.
I mean, I've seen you have your fair share of interesting hairstyles. If we look back at shout out Nomad and their dyed tips at a previous nationals.
We had a phase. We all have phases, Jay. I think
it was just a phase.
We've all been through those. Doug Matuszek rudely interrupts this enthralling conversation with the pool. Nick Zalumas for Gradient in midfield. Into Mark Doyle. Recognizable in pink shorts once again. Soon to be a Gradient staple, apparently. Get your kid orders in.
Oh, what a grab by Nick. Good throw by Mark as well. That's a good score. I'm glad to see Gradient being a bit more loosey-goosey.
Yeah, using a same 56th of the field there.
But hey, if it works, it works. Personally, I'm a big fan of the same third kind of hucks. I know a lot of people and a lot of law says you should not be doing this, but if it works, it works.
Agreed. That's one for Gradient. They're on the board. They should be satisfied with that.
No bagels today. No bagels for Mutiny.
Nope.
Allowed.
Health? No.
Sorry? Who threw
Mark.
We hope that you are recording that down there on the stats field, Doug. Looks like he's playing out quite well out there. We have
a lot of excitement on the sideline. Not often people
Sorry?
are on camera.
Yes, they are in the way. I'm just doing the best with what I was told to do.
Paul Vickers looking to send Gradient's first pull of the game out. Their D-line out now. Oh, stylish lean on that one. Good edge, brings it to the middle of the field.
Great pull.
As Rourke Robinson receives in midfield. Decides to give Gradient a chance this point.
That's Gradient's first break chance now. And they give it straight back.
James Granelli showing a bit of toughness coming through. As Phil Kirby receives on this near sideline. A quick pop to Josh Hansen. The big man pivots.
The classic finds the stationary man in the cup.
Oh yes, incognito mode, that one. As Gradient Zone resets itself.
Good find by Sam across the field.
Big swings, really buying some time for Mutiny. Not much forward movement, but not much mark pressure after that. A big pivot, a bit of a swingling. Takes it to Rourke Robinson, finds Ross the Boss Bentley.
Good stuff by Ross. Learned so much during his overseas trip. Another Nomad player, if you will. Joining us
Nomad calls from behind us.
As the hockey players even are getting in on these Nomad cheers. But
crazy.
Yeah. Ross took a lot away from that Amsterdam tournament. Some would say frisbee, flicks, jumps, and even love.
Even love. Love finds us even in the most northerny places.
Even in the cold places.
Calvin Harris, you knew it best.
As we watch him disappear off to the sideline down there.
Basically Amsterdam, that side of the field.
So far away.
Enough bemoaning. We have Jonty Thompson ready to send the pull out. Jonty, a firm believer in spiking the disc. Edge on. Rock on, boy. Never grow up.
If you're not breaking the disc, what are you doing?
Just sporting some kiddie pants, that's for sure.
Fabio and Tian not managing to connect there. I never thought I'd say this, but it looks like the disc was a bit high for Tian to comfortably reel in there.
We are but all mortals, Jason. Even the tallest of us. Those blessed with height. Brent Phillips in the midfield. A dump is
great stuff by
interrupted. Mike Chimanga set out that first game, so he should be fresh to death for this one.
I was going to say, I don't think Mike got on the first game, but clearly that does not matter as he reels it in there, stopping Dylan, locking him down.
Blocks. Nick Z finds another Nick. It's Nick for Nick's sake. Unsuccessful with that pass. Dylan Sims sends a yoink. Doug versus Nick.
That's the battle of the oldies, the ghost vets over there.
Indeed. Doug politely letting us know that Nick is on his fantasy team captain. So possibly a bit of mind games there from Doug, giving Nick a bit of the edge.
I always think that's a smart way to go about it, let them beat you, get the ego boost there, and now I'm sure we're going to see Nick with an assist to score.
It's about the long game. As Fabio sends a delicious inside leading pass to Zalumas. Chimanga now. A loopy flick.
Over.
Second one over Tian's head. We can see from our angles here, he's miles taller than the skyscrapers in the background. How are they missing this?
Mike signaling for what looks like an away force.
And taking it straight up. No huck for Dylan Sims here. Instead a decent under to Nick Anderson. And Klein with a big gain on the far side. Looks centrally. A good swing to the midfield and unpressured Anderson. Matashek. Sims toes one in. Looks off the first reset. Centered again. Mutiny Loving the center disc, opening up both sides of the field. Chimanga not near the reset on that one, as
Meow Meow McFlurry almost manages to reel that one in, but unfortunately it looked a bit too out of bounds there for him to manage to toe the lines on.
True. Can't spike what you don't catch.
No spikes for GBV coming through from John T, unfortunately.
John T, a Claro enjoyer.
I heard that he really loves his matcha tea as well.
W Hot Moms. A third one does not escape.
No. We've got an injury call on the
Tian, as we find Dylan Sims in a bit of pain. We'll cut right over here and come back after this is sorted.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to be more of a strong proponent for Frisbee should just end. Clearly, we should stop playing Frisbee. That's multiple injuries in the first 2 games of the day, unfortunately. Medics are on the field now, so hopefully we'll get some treatment for the injured player. Do not fear people at home.
Fortunately, a lot of turns in that point. That was the most we've seen so far. Gradient doing something differently in your eyes to force that?
I think they're playing a bit more freely, which I like to see. I think you get to this kind of point in the game and you're thinking, okay, cool, we're down a couple of breaks. Keeping doing what we're doing, if it hasn't been working, there's not much point in doing that. So I'd like to see people playing a bit more freely, going, take some shots. There's no point in doing exactly the same thing if it's not working. So Dylan is getting escorted off the field. It seems the game can continue. As we get any updates, we'll be sure to let you guys know.
But now
there's a smile on his face, so
he's
hopefully
smiling.
It's not as bad as it could be. Dylan also heading to Ireland later this year, so we hope that it's nothing serious.
We do indeed. An integral part of this mutiny, and also his mixed club heats setup. We wish him the best. As Sam Kombrink seems to take his place on the field. Sam, the sprightly young chicken, already once on the board in this game. Getting a yellow card for that false start. Not a pro sprinter. Doesn't mean he's not fast.
Been thoroughly impressed watching him play down here in Cape Town since he's joined Mutiny.
Benjamin Rousseau sneaks one through there. That was a tight gap with many hands flailing. Nick Anderson says no. Nick Anderson says no. And when Nick Anderson says no,
that means no.
We quietly watched that disc sail out. Again, another turn. Feels like that was a bit more unforced than a lot of our Mutiny's other turns this game.
I do have to ask, when you're valued so highly in the fantasy game, when you cost a lot of points, is that something that comes to your head? Is that something that makes you think, hey, I need to aggressively go for these assistant scores, so the people that do pick me, get good value for their money?
The fantasy game leaning a lot to the risk takers, nothing for defensive stats, nothing for turnover stats. So, hey, why not shoot?
Oh, I love that. I'm a big fan of a big man like Tian shouting poach. You throw it to him. Just a bit more float needed ideally there. Oh, and Mark comes through with a D. I've been really impressed with Mark this season. Mark has taken many steps forwards, I think. Disc centered for Gradient. We have Fabio on the disc.
No sense of an inside backhand for Fabio today in this point, but the disc is centered again. A lot of possession coming through the central bits of the field. Both teams seem to recognize that as an important... Oh, it's the chess game. Win the center, win the game.
Important to value the middle. I think that's where you want the disc. Obviously, can attack the most. Nick is found by Rourke on an under. And Nick hits McFlurry pans.
Meow Meow purrs one into the end zone. Gives a little one up. And respects his opponent belatedly.
Jaunty our goat. Jaunty our goat. That's a good value for money pick right there.
16, a steal. An absolute steal.
We got Sachs here on the sideline. Shout out Sachs. And that looks like we got our first timeout of the game.
Marathon point that. Lot happened, lot to process. Why not take it all down as we bring you our first sponsorship plug.
Are we sponsoring Woolworth? Shout out Woolworths for bringing us some food. No, I'm joking. This was picked up in the shop. But Woolworths.
Shout out Woolworths for selling this to us.
Shout out Woolworths for providing quality goods at a high price. Wow, that was a long point. So we can now have Mutiny 5, Gradient 1. Things are, I want to say, less than ideal at the moment if you're Gradient. Obviously, I don't know how much onus is put on this game. I don't think any team's going to put too much onus on playing against Mutiny unless it's the final. Because what can you really do? Yeah, what else is happening around the play park today?
As we look to bring you stats from around the complex. 3 other games happening concurrently to this one. What can we bring?
So we currently have Marty's Magents against Zephyr happening down there. And it is currently 2-4 with Zephyr winning that game. That's the only other game that we have recorded stats for at the moment. So unfortunately, I can't tell you what is happening in either of the ladies' games at the moment.
This muffled voice proudly brought to you by Woolworths Meatballs.
On the Zephyr game, we have we've got turnover stats as well, which is lovely to see. Currently leading the turnover stats is Peter Conradi with 3 and Justin Peach with 4. Otherwise, in terms of the goals and scores, well-distributed scores from Zephyr, Abel, Justin, Lee, and Tom all at 1 apiece. And on the assists, we've got Jeff with 2, Abel with 1, and Eddie with 1. So if you picked Abel for your fantasy game, you'd be scoring a lot of points right now. Otherwise, for Marty's, we've got Cameron and Oliver with a goal, and Nicholas and Peter with assists. So that seems to be what's going on there. Let's focus back in on this game as Dill? That's Scott. Scott puts up the poll. Anything stand out to you from those stats?
Zephyr displaying a good sense of depth that very likely helped them to beat Gradient earlier this game.
Oh, Adam pulls it down. That's a trust throw and a half there. Adam had no meters of separation. If anything, Adam was behind Mark when that throw went up. Emphatic spike from Adam. I'm sure he's very chuffed with himself. That was a great grab.
Never trust a man with potty on his pants. But my goodness, that was reeled in. 1-0 to the youth on that one.
Shout out Adam, that was great. Adam, if you're listening to this, please pay us.
Please pay us, Adam.
Or sponsor us in Woolworths food. We'll take either or.
We've seen that you can reach out when it matters most.
We're reaching out to you with our hearts right now, Adam.
Pay us.
Good grab by Adam. That was a great play. I do like to see that. If you know you've got legs in a matchup, put up a trust throw. Let's see what Adam's not afraid of a little dive. So I don't know if I'm really happy with that look, or should be saying that was mildly skeptical, but it worked, so why not?
High risk, high reward. I think that's certainly up the ante. It's up the fire ingredient.
Double vision score as well.
Visionary put by Anu Kutsia sparks this game back into life. We're at 4-2. 4-2. It's like I've been counting this. Oh my. 5-2. It's like I shouldn't have said a thing. Nick Loomis on the
It's like
pool.
Darren's been counting.
Brock Robinson receives. Sends a low swing to Mark Lewis into the center. He takes a risky option to Scott Glennie. Scott Glennie looks for the continue up the line. Sam Bovum.
Oh, yes, Sam. Sam with the look that I like.
No nail to that hammer. Ross Bentley thinking about better times up north. As Mark Doyle receives unopposed in his end zone.
I'm sure if a Nomad player was to have thrown that, Ross would have brought it down.
As Rourke confirms himself as a Nomad player, with Ross bringing that down.
Rourke is definitely at this point an honorary Nomad player. I think if
Nomad.
he could, he would be there. But good stuff by Rourke. I like to see the visionary crossfield play. You always know Ross is going to look for one of those. So good to see, good to see.
The jinx of that corner firmly out of its way for Bentley. The boss back on it, ruling over his subjects.
Joel, you okay? I was worried when I saw you grabbing your knee. Dill says that he thinks he'll be okay, so for those of you back home who were concerned about Dill, don't worry. We do have some sprinklers on interrupting one of the ladies' games at the moment, which is a
health risk. As enjoyable as it may look. In our younger days, we might have gone ahead with it when we were a bit more indestructible, but now, knowing about the power of borehole water,
I personally would see that as a good layout opportunity.
Quite cinematic, actually. I think we're missing the field of that one.
JVR to put one up. Ooh, I do hope you are viewing this fine at home. The frame rate that I have seeing on my display is not ideal.
James Granelli is not on the disc. He goes deep. As he's being chased in a comedic, cartoonish way by 3 Mutiny defenders who have pulled off to help.
Chauncey gets there. Good job by Meow Meow McKidden Pants to make sure he gets there.
The cat always lands on its feet. Not sure what it has to do with that analogy, but
great find by Doug. Perfectly weighted hammer over the top. Those are the kinds of throws we want in this mild but consistent wind.
Janssen van Rensburg centers as the swing continues. Gradient's trap unsuccessful in containing Mutiny in that corner as they are sent laterally again. Slowing it down. The dump is found. No, Blady swing doesn't work out for Klein. Gloved or not. Kiefer Walker goes deep again. Not looked for. Granelli receives in the handler space. Swings himself to Kutsia. Paul Vickers in an anchoring position. Elevates and finds Granelli with a lot of time and a lot of space. Space-time, an important concept in science. Van Sale now stagnated on the sideline. Blades one over, looking for Dave, the silly salmon Pereira. Toes one in gratuitously.
Silly salmon indeed. I like to see this. I like to see Gradient starting to look a lot more deep. I don't know if I should say it's less disciplined. If it's intentional, I guess it's very disciplined. But it's good to see them not being afraid to shoot a shot and coming down with a lot of them at the moment, even with the Mutiny help defense.
Second one in a row. They're not afraid, despite Mutiny's best efforts. I think sticking one to the man. I think.
We do hate the man.
Oh, the man. Doug, the local scorekeeper.
Keeps things updated. Shout out Doug. It takes a village of Dougs to keep this community running.
Respect to the manual operation.
Mutiny coming back a little bit. It is now 6-3, I believe.
As on the far field, we still have sprinklers.
It do be sprinkling. Lovely kid I am getting distracted by between there and here. You see that man on crutches, unfortunately, his tournament cut a bit short here, but that kit that he's in is just transfixing. Beautiful.
Nomadic, one might say.
Fortunately, the man himself is looking like he would not struggle a bit to be nomadic. Bien for sale about to pull up.
Sends one. Hang time. Adequate. Mark Lewis receives centers. Rock Robinson, Mutiny with a bit of a split stack going. Sends it to the vert side. As Phil Kirby looks directly up the line, the boss on the sideline plays a little 1-2, a little tiki-taka, and finds himself trapped on the sideline. Kirby again in the thick of things. Mutiny unable to instantly get out of this. Phil thinking about going over, doing about going over. Full field swing to Scott. Glennie is unsuccessful. However, gradient zone, they're trapped doing the job there.
I think that's who you have to have. You have to have someone who's slightly less comfortable in their throws. Get there. Oh my goodness, James had to just come down with it. Unfortunately, maybe he's out of bounds. Both players there against him, much taller, but he comes down with a better read.
Short Emperors, that was one for you.
Love a short king. Not biased.
As
Ross wants the disc in this corner over here. Can they find him? Oh, I'm not focusing on the right people on the camera.
Scott Glennie goes over.
Scott, and he finds Tall Sam in the back of the end zone.
Sam for Sams. The Sams are at it again. Sam things never change.
Sam things never change.
Mutiny.
I believe that is now 7-3 to Mutiny.
7-3 up. As the crowd size here has increased infinitesimally.
Yeah, we got a big crowd, lots of people around, you know. Most of those happen to be players whose field is now being disturbed by water shortages. Water abundance more, I think.
Yes.
I'm too used to water shortages here in Cape Town.
The opposite of day zero is day infinity. And that's on display.
We just have to let the water out of the ground, otherwise, who knows, maybe it would explode.
We might never find it again.
So this seems to be the strategy, Darren. I think maybe we should organize our own tournaments and just have other fields get flooded, so everyone has to watch our games. Pole gets put out by John T.
Another healthy amount of hang time on that.
Sydney almost gets there and manages to set what looks like a zone. No, I think I am wrong. I think it's just drug poaching.
Whatever it does, it's worked. It's pushed Gradient onto this near sideline and brought all of their players into a very close proximity of the disc. No one's stretching deep for them. As Mark listens to me, abides in the call, Paul Vickers unable to find them. It was a respectable look as he had steps on his defender, but
Paul clearly has himself in his fantasy team trying to shoot for the end zone there and put some points on the board.
Oh, we knew this would happen, those scoundrels.
I personally would be sure to put myself in my fantasy team.
It's a controllable. It's a controllable. Matashek now forced backwards deep into the end zone. Let's see if the zone clamps down to try force this turn. Nowhere really to go for Mutiny as a blade sends it to the back line. We've got some action going on here, if we can see it all.
Unfortunately, there are some holes in the way, but Mutiny is really struggling to break through this gradient zone here. Now that I say that, I've cursed them. Commentator's curse, if you will.
You are born for this, Jason.
And Mutiny is now moving smoothly upfield. A bit too much float on that one with the disc exposed, but John T luckily is in the way to read it. Ollie, get down! Thank you, Ollie. Oh, unfortunately, Nick puts it down. Thanks, Ollie. We love you.
Drops it twice just for good measure. Nick Anderson, frustrated with himself, did a lot of good work to get out of there. And now they might find themselves back in as Gradient are going downwind, probably going to look to stretch the field again.
Paul's only looking for one thing there. Oh, lots of contact there, but comes down with it just fine.
Barely contested. Sam Kombrung misses out on a layout there. Ben Rousseau unable to continue the flow.
Good grab by Mark.
Not much of an end zone structure.
Oh, Nick gets it back with a great layout D. Get that on the highlight reel.
That's Captain Man over there.
Lays it upfield. We know Sam's fast, but that might be a slight overestimation of his speed.
John T in his pajama pants, perhaps fast asleep still.
Only half out of bed this morning.
Still loves Claro though. Timeout called. Gradient does a favor for all of us.
And that's, yeah, is that Gradient's second time out of the game?
Second time out of the half and the game.
Okay. Yeah, and so we have a bit of a break. Darren, how are you feeling about things so far? What would you like to talk about in the time that we have off?
Allotted to us. I think a lot more positives from Gradient in the second half of this first half. Spaces opening up deep for them to exploit. I think still too often getting drawn in towards the disc, not stretching as much out as they could. But as earlier mentioned, the opportunities are there, and they are showing that their throwers at very least are willing to use them. As the water has all immersed itself out of the ground on the far field.
Unfortunately, we are out of water abundance on the far field. I can give you an update from around the ground. We have here the current Marty's Magents versus Zephyr game, and the score there is currently 6-4, with Zephyr leading that match. So looks like that is staying relatively close. Marty's is still in it, which is exciting to see. We'd love to see a bit more from that game. Currently we've got on the assist board, it's Jeff, Eddie and Abel for Zephyr with 2 apiece. Justin has 2 goals, followed by a lot of the rest of the team on 1. Philip Venter is currently leading the scoreboard for the Magents team with 2 goals. Cam, Christian and Oliver on 1 apiece. And Michael Hale leading the assists with 2. So yeah, things are still relatively tight over there, which is good to see. Marty's has been coming back a little bit over the last while, so that's important. However, we are going to be returning back to this game live.
Gradient setting up vertically out of this timeout. Perhaps some sort of set play involved. As a bit of contact turns into a lot of contact.
Oof, that
bit of oopsies from Paul Vickers from his throw there. As we cannot escape the presence of a pole directly in the middle of our vision.
Yeah, a lot of physicality, but the players agree to leave the disc in Nick's hands. Back to Paul. We hope he doesn't cause another collision. Oh, looks off and open under, but finds Fabio later on.
The disc is turned as Mutiny now have a chance to punch in the break that'll take them to halftime. Janssen van Rensburg.
Still a zone from Gradient coming out here. Struggling to identify exactly the zone. Not one of your stock standard zones, I think, but
they have a 2 up front, which you'd assume they'd want to try funnel play through the middle. But Mutiny are finding the lateral spaces. Regardless of that, it is slowing the play down. So some job is a good job.
Here on the sideline, it definitely changes. It becomes more of like a sideline trap. So it's very interesting to see where it always seems to be like quite angled. Here we go. So this is the standard trap we've been seeing a lot of recently. Northern regions take notes. This is how you beat the zone, clearly.
This Mutiny march it all the way down the near sideline. A good inside look is met by a Sam.
Doug to Sam. Small Sam this time around.
Smally Ollie brings us to halftime here. Mutiny 8, Gradient 3. What you expected, Jason?
Pretty much what I expected, I think. I'm not too surprised with the scoreline. I'm honestly, I think I'll say happy Gradient's got 3 on the board. Coming into the game, I was a bit worried based on the previous results on the other field. Obviously, losing a big player such as Tom, and also just losing a game you expect to win is always incredibly demoralizing. So the fact that they managed to, after the first 2 breaks, put 2 more on the board is something, or 3 on the board actually, is something that I am glad, I don't know if glad's the right word, but glad to see that they are fighting a little. How are you feeling, Darren? What are your thoughts?
A much better display of Ultimate in general from the previous time we saw these teams match up against each other. Practically unwatchable that game. Just put the audio on for that, I think. Shout out to Annie in the comment section. So we hope that the standard at least can carry through for the rest of the game, for the rest of the tournament from both teams. Give our viewers something to watch.
Damn, I found out how to say half time on the board. Too bad it fades after a couple of seconds, but we're cool, you know, we're bringing you goods here in the commentary box.
Jason vigorously announcing his middle finger onto that left click button.
So who knows how long this halftime was. Oh, thanks, Doug. Doug, our favorite player, hits the commentary box. Sam joins us here as well. Wow, we've got half the Mutiny team here. Mutiny players, what do you have to say after this first half performance? This is our first interview, Sam. We're so glad to have you here.
Thanks, Jason. Good to be here with you guys. I just have to make clear that there's no rivalry between the 2 Sams. It's Sam versus Peanut, so no Sams. There's only one Sam in this team.
Sam versus Peanut. So who's Sam and who's Peanut?
I'm Sam, and that's Peanut.
So why did you get to be Sam?
Because I was the one here first. First mover advantage.
First mover advantage. Do you think this is like chess, where, you know, the color that goes first has a bit of an advantage?
It's game theory. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So would you be white or black if you were playing chess?
No comment. Who did you pick in your fantasy?
I believe neither of us played fantasy. You know? If I had to pick, I think I might have picked Sam. Thank you.
If you were playing fantasy, I would have picked you.
I think Sam is a good pick based on value there. Jonty is also not a bad pick himself. Jonty, how are you and your 9 fantasy teams doing so far?
They're doing great. I obviously chose the most logical choice, which was me.
9 times.
Value for money, yeah. 9 out of 9 teams. Shout out parents for sponsoring money.
Shout out parents.
Yeah.
W rents.
I mean, 450 Rand for a Frisbee isn't a bad price if you ask me.
Inflation these last few years has really been running rampant. I remember back in my day, I sound like an old timer now.
Is it black and white there, man?
Yeah, I was living in black and white. Back in my day,
We lived on a chessboard.
$100 for a disc.
That's a good price.
Yeah. If only I could go back and buy all the discs and now be selling them at crazy monies.
You're the reason inflation's a thing.
Do you know what really hasn't seen a lot of inflation in these past many years? Balloons.
Balloons? Why the sudden interest in balloons?
Because balloons were built for inflation.
That was a good one.
Jonty, what would you like to see coming into the second half of this game?
More contact, no shit.
Yeah, you got quite physical out there with Nick.
Yeah, Nick kind of came out of my blind spot. It was a very scary time, but shout out Nick, you know, getting the disc before the play happened. So what I'm looking for more is more moon balls, more 50-50s, more skying, more action. We get entertained.
Just the way we like it from the commentary booth. Jonty, make us shout your name more.
Maximus Decimus Jontius. Are you not entertained?
Darren, that raises the question. If you were a silly goose, what kind of silly goose would you be?
I could have a gander.
I love a good gander.
Into that one. Frankly, whatever the goose is that's in the annoying goose game.
That's a good goose.
That is one good goose.
That is good. Well, some people would say it's not a good goose, but it's a highly enjoyable goose.
Some people need to get a life.
I love a good goose. We see Dylan Sims gingerly walking in front of us. Walking is better than not walking, some would say. So good to see him back on his feet.
For a good 10 seconds before he resumes his seat upon quite an elaborate throne within the terrace blocks. Quite cinematic again. If we had more cameras, we'd bring it to you.
If Adam paid us enough to make it worth our while. As we watch Dave roll on the floor. That's an interesting halftime warm-up.
We see Gradient heading to their line
Cameron's down there if you're looking.
to take their place for the start of the second half.
I'll probably just say, okay. Plans changed if we know, I probably won't come back.
Again, putting 3 points on the board so far. About as much as they mustered in their previous game. And now with a whole half to play. The opportunities right in front of them.
Mic check, 1, 2. Oh no, I'm not sure if my mic's quite here. Or if your mic's quite here. Who knows, maybe we're just the same mic. Either way, you can hopefully hear us.
Meow, 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 meow.
This segment was sponsored by Jaunty. Darren, what do you expect to see from Gradient the second half? More zone? Some person defense? More hucks? More micro ball?
For the fans, I think no one can explain it better than Jonty did. For the purists, the ultimate tacticians, I'd love to see them perhaps try switch it up to person. Their zone was doing a good job installing play, making it more difficult to score. Not generating quite as much joy on the offense as they'd like to. So perhaps switching it up early could spring a surprise, turn it close to the opposition's end zone, and maybe they can punch in a surprise break off the bat as we get the second half
We'd love to see the start off with a break.
underway.
That would tighten the game up somewhat. Shout out Doug here, sharing sweets with everyone on the sideline. Brought us to us in the booth as well.
Anything for a good spirit score.
Doing the Lord's work. Ooh, unfortunately, little fumble there by Ross, and the disc goes down. They're clearly still thinking about things that are happening in Amsterdam.
So it's a long way away, difficult to influence from where we are at the moment.
Hanu finds James in the middle. James looks for Adam. Unfortunately, it floats a little bit, and Josh uses his lankiness to get there. Good inside break. Finds Ross. And Ross finds Rourke on the sideline. And Rourke finds Sam in the end zone. That's going to make many people's fantasy teams quite happy. As I was mentioning during the halftime, thought Sam was quite good value for money there. And yeah, shout out Sam and Rourke.
Sam Raisin gets on the board.
The Raisin.
As he's now self-proclaimed to be
We have Peanut and Raisin. No Sam. No Sams.
peanut butter sandwich. I would love to see one of those.
I love a good sandwich. Josh looking very happy with himself after that D here in front of the camera.
Skying Adam,
Skying Adams.
the
No
man
head
that
tabs.
doesn't pay. Take that, you overlord. You heathen overlord.
Pay us, please, Adam. This is once again a call. These Woolies foods that I'm bringing into the commentary box don't pay for themselves.
They certainly don't. CTFTA, let's get working on that sponsorship, please. Gradient at the bat with a dirty hold, but a hold nonetheless.
Gradient scored that point?
No, mutiny. At least someone listens to my commentary.
I was like, what's going on? I do feel like I'm in a fever dream right now, so I apologize for what I do or don't say.
Paul Vickers and Mark Doyle playing a bit at the back.
Mark with the lefty. Good to see some lefties out there. Keep the throwing hands diversified, I think.
Yeah,
Paul breaking ankles out here. A very low huck.
too soon, Jason. Too soon.
Too soon. I'm so sorry. I forgot about what happened in that first half. To be fair, that's just the risk you take when playing frisbee. This is why I've retired.
Comfortably.
Oh, and that's a veteran move there by Aiden, pulling the disc in from not the end zone. Just plants his pivot foot and throws the disc.
Rules is rules.
Rules are rules.
As
Peanut with the disc finds Aiden in the end zone. And that was a nice, clean, flowy point.
Mutiny with a break as they take us into double digits for their score.
10-3.
Clinical, marching it all the way up the field from literally the back of the end zone.
This game could be over fairly soon, which will do wonders for my back, sitting in this position, really hunched over. Not sure how long I can do this for.
GTFDA paying no attention to back health.
Johan, if you're hearing this,
I have a hunch. Not much to say as we await a restart to this game. A delightful bit of sportsmanship on the far side as we have Raisin initially giving a bit of support to Tom Smythe and his injured ankle.
UCT, ex-UCT and ex-Wild Dogs teammates, so lots in common there. They parted ways after university, and some would wonder if that's the start for some beef, or if people in the frisbee community are just too nice.
All vegans of a year, Jay, no beef. No fish either.
No fish either. Hopefully we'll bring some more fish-related commentary to you tomorrow if we can convince young Ceci to enter the booth.
Young Ceci as we proceed on our Sir David Chattenboroughs.
Oh!
Mark Lewis!
In the way. Hanu doing his best Rob Skelton impression. And there we go. We have Jonty, our favorite matcha enjoyer, finding the end zone. Oh yes, baby.
Speaking of moonball,
there we go. We like to see that.
We get the full ones out over there.
My anaconda don't.
John Key with the score dedicates that one out to
all the moonballs out there, I believe.
All the moonballs.
I will refrain from singing anymore so we don't get Nikki demonetized, if you know what I'm saying.
My anaconda don't want this broadcast canceled. Quite a quick turnover there. Gradient, slow out the bats in the second half, not a second half team.
Clearly not many Nomad players on there. As Nomad a distinct second half team.
Second half only to some.
It's only half that matters, Doesn't matter. You can only score 8 points in the first half, and then it's over. But
why limit yourself?
If you only start playing in the second half, you're allowed to score 15.
Again, great intellect into understanding the long game.
It's always about the long game.
I think the power that comes from retirement. As a Raisin,
retirement gives you a lot of time to think. Good pull by Raisin, and Gradient get going. You hope to see some flow. Micro ball, Dave insists on. Nice find by Mark to spread the field.
The lefty, the biological anomaly cannot be stopped.
Oh, great grab by Nick. Looks off the throw to the end zone. We have 3 more cuts up the line, and then he manages to find Bernard, the initial cut, as he kind of loitered around in that space. Good job by Gradient to get their first score of the second half.
Strauss found in the back of the end zone.
Looking rather unwashed today, some might say.
Oh, deeply. That hasn't been washed since Wednesday.
Since Wednesday? What happened on Wednesday, Darren?
Clearly a shower.
for those of you unfamiliar, unwashed in this context in Bernard's own lingo, is a good thing. Is a good thing. All the greatness is still on him. It hasn't been washed off.
A quick Gen Z explanation for all those needing it. Gradient find themselves on the board in the second half. Bit of a morale booster there after their slow start.
What do you think we're going to end up with the score here today, Darren?
You got me on overs and unders.
Yeah, Mutiny, let's go, I don't know, over under. Mutiny 15, Gradient 6. To Gradient, over under 6. It should be 11-4.
From a completely neutral perspective, I would love to see a bit more of a competition than that. So, for the fans, for the neutrals out there, I'm going for the over.
The over.
Don't quote me on this.
And what is not really a surprise, Gradient are bringing out a zone look.
Adam Kiefer Walker and James Granelli. Two short kings up front.
Very different style.
Doing the dirty work.
Finds Phil. Hits Rourke again, who finds Josh. Hits Rourke in the middle of the zone. Rourke is very crafty and good at finding those middle spaces. Unfortunately, with the little bit of wind we've got here. Oh, is that a hand block by Mark?
That's
Good
2
shot
for
by
2 in Mark's favor.
He's clearly marking Dion out at this point.
Oh, we got him.
Pull it in the middle. Resets backwards to Ross.
Ross just outside the end zone. Sends a deep swing back to Janssen van Rensburg. Jared fakes again. Dump option taken.
And finds Phil in the corner. Ooh, it's not in. Oh! And Sam runs through the contact, and I'm assuming there's a foul call by Hanu there.
Raisin unable to wrinkle his way through.
And they're going to have a bit of a discussion about what actually happened. I'm assuming that is Hanu saying, hey bro, I stepped into the space first, and Sam being like, nah, you dived in front of me. Oh no. Unfortunately, you might not be able to see this argument behind a pole. But
so we'll bring a dramatic representation of it.
I think that was as dramatic as we're going to get. My Sam saying,
You're
I was going to
nah.
claim that space, nah, and I'll assassin him, while Hanu's like, yeah, bro. I don't know. My Afrikaans is not what it should be, huh?
Oscars might be done, but
we're still trying.
Never out of reach. We'll take this brief pause in play to remind Adam Kiefer Walker to pay us.
Please, Adam. We are struggling, not students anymore.
Struggling working adults with nothing better to do on their Saturday morning than to retire from Frisbee.
Frisbee doesn't pay well. It goes back to thrower. So I assume that was either a foul contest or Sam has accepted that. Unfortunately, I was not paying enough attention or did not see enough hand signals to know quite what happened there.
Full Kirby resets play.
My. All of that for Rourke to just hop it into the front cone.
And certainly does a number for Raisin's fantasy there.
Yeah, if I would be upset if I had Raisin on my fantasy league team there.
Rourke Robinson cleaning it up.
Yeah, Sam's still having that discussion.
The score in the bottom of your screen, kindly brought to you by Doug, the nicest man on and off the field.
We can see the score twice now. It's so lovely.
In case you couldn't get it in digital, we now have it in analog. Thank you, Doug. You the best music.
You the best.
Full Kirby with an assist there. A steal on this fantasy game. I think only going for 4.
For 4 points.
For
I would
4
invest in
points.
that.
About a sixth of the most expensive player. Now with equal amounts of stats as them.
What's up, Raucus? What happened quite in that foul call? We didn't get a good a view on that. Do you have anything to add from the field?
It was just Yeah, a disagreement about how much movement there was through the foul call. Should have been resolved a bit quicker, probably, but
Well, you scored quick enough to make up for it.
make up for it in the end. Little jump in, you know?
A classic, a classic. At the front corner. Gradient turns the disc over. We have Mutiny back on offense. I feel like I've been saying that a lot this game.
Meow Meow McFlurry with a little bit of a swing to local nice guy Doug.
Shout out Doug for being the nicest guy.
What a sweet, sweet man.
And Vian is back. Vian gets the hand block.
So nice, he gives stats out in all directions, does Doug Matuszek. As Gradient now with a chance for
and Nick comes through. See that? Just run through. You got to run through those. Nick is just showing us how it's done.
Nick with limited vocabulary says no again. As
we didn't see that. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Doug's still sweet, guys.
Doug's the best. Huge reset that Vian's wanting, but it finds the far side. Oh, hello. Mark, what a dime.
Doyle.
What a dime. Mark is quickly becoming one of my favorite players. The return hammer celebration. Wow, that was a great blade across the field to a pretty open Tian, like perfectly thrown and weighted so that the defender would not have a chance to get there or make a play on it.
Nobody expects the left hand. Nobody expects the left hand.
It's just like the Spanish Inquisition.
El muchacho.
Your over-under is starting to look a bit better here. We're getting close to the 6 that we promised.
Yeah, still don't quote me yet. Wait until I'm right and then you can quote me.
Wait until I'm right, then you can quote me. Quote unquote, Darren. That's a great quote. Was that a Darren quote or was that not a Ye line?
Jason, you're gonna have to do some explanation as to what a he line is.
Oh, Kanye? Isn't Kanye Ye now? I don't know. I don't follow up with the things as Paul puts it back in. I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about him. I don't know if he's been cancelled or not.
He's no Diddy.
No Diddy.
But Ye's on the precipice. I remember a good time when we could talk.
Without fear of getting cancelled ourselves.
About college dropout and all the good stuff that happened back then.
Oh yes.
What is good now is hammers.
Ross wanting to look good on cameras, unfortunately, it does not quite come off. Doing his best Tian impression as from Tian's celebration last point.
True. The pull of the north certainly influencing that throw from Ross.
I think if there's just a bit more height on it, a bit less like venom on that throw, a bit more float, if I can say that with air quotes. I know a lot of people say hammers don't float. There was a chance that Jared could have got that.
Nonetheless, Paul Vickers brings it in for Gradient. They're looking for their first break of the half.
Oh, Mike is so clear. That's a great way to get some open space there. And there's some sort of call. Is that a foul call on Josh? Possibly some might say the worst foul in Ultimate.
Contested,
contested.
It seems.
Can't be a bad call if it's contested. I mean, can't be a bad foul if it's contested, right?
Never, ever.
I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I missed the foul, to be honest. I should tell people that. I just assume that it's one of these things where Mike's trying to pivot in one direction as Josh is coming through. Mike puts it. Lots of very physical battle between Hanu and Sam. Adam's very free, and the hammer goes up to find him. Plenty of time to bring it down. Good look, good find.
The hammer count growing exponentially in these past few points.
I'm for it. And Mark, I don't know if he's close enough for me to call that another hand block, but I'm putting in the hand block stats.
Mark Lewis wishing there were D stats in this fantasy game.
And that leaves the deep very open. And there we go. Good find by Jared. Managed to find the end zone where Mr. Amsterdam himself is on the board again.
The boss. Calling the shots. Managing this game from the end zone. Who needs to pass backwards? Who needs to pass at all?
Update from the other fields. We've got the score of 6-9 with Zephyr leading there. So that is still mildly close, but over the last few points, it looks like Zephyr is starting to pull away. For those of you who care about the scores, or about the scores and assists, Marty is still very evenly distributed with 1 goal apiece among 6 different players. Michael Hale's got 2 assists. However, on the other side, Abel is doing very well with 3 assists. Eddie's got 2, and Jeff's got 2. Justin, Lee, and Tom all have 2 goals. Jonty looking to get the disc back and play. Ooh, we've even got updates from what I would assume is other regionals, which is interesting to see. For some reason, there's a score of Rex versus Corporate Chaos showing up on my dashboard. For 4-3 to Rex there.
It's not quite in Amsterdam, but that's further north from here. As we're joined back on the field. Tian is poached on this near sideline.
A classic.
He's climbed. The only good kind of poaching. Only kind of poaching we want to see. Stop hurting the rhinos, everyone. Nick Salumas faking enthusiastically. Looking for James Granilli at the front of the end zone. Silence befalls the field as a call is contested. It is not. It is in. Short Kings win.
Cool. That's a score for Gradient. They are now up to 6. So things are moving ahead smoothly here, which is good to see. On the other fronts, other news for you, we have, in terms of goals and assists, Ross is currently leading the Mutiny score sheet with 3. Brent's got 2. Sam's got 2. Peanut and Raisin, both on 2.
Truly a combination that cannot leave your snack life.
And on the other side, we've got 3 assists for Rourke, 2 assists for Scott, and a bunch of other people on the board. Mark's got 2 assists. It's good to see Mark is leading things here with Nick Z. And yeah, that's where we're at. I don't have much more to say.
Gradient finding a bit of momentum towards the end of the game. Maybe some long game strats from them that's coming through. Mutiny, perhaps a bit of complacency.
I think, yeah, if I'm Gradient, I'm definitely feeling better than I was after the first game. Obviously, scoreline's not ideal, but yeah, lots to do in this tournament for them still. But I don't think this is a score that you do beat yourself up about. As much as you do want to play close with another team, I think for the current situation, everything is okay. Josh resetting to Mark, getting him on the disc. Good to see. Different to see Josh very behind the disc in this game. It's always interesting to see teams put their tall players behind the disc. I'm always one to say, tall people go deep, let me throw the disc at you.
Spoken like a short king himself.
Ooh, that is a nasty impact. Mutiny comes down with it, but
play has stopped by default as much as our local Raisin tried to avoid a stoppage there in favor of Mutiny's field position.
I think it's interesting because he didn't make a call as much as it very much looked like he was taken out. I don't know, maybe he did make a call, but I didn't see any hand signals for anything. And I'm assuming he's saying, cool, we caught the disc, play goes on.
Yeah, oof is a call in Ultimate sometimes.
I hate that, Darren. I hate that. As someone that's very much for, unless someone's unconscious or used their words, it should be play on. As someone who's lost their mind at someone shouting at full once and play stopping because someone said it was a foul call. Full is not foul, guys.
To the new and future parents out there, if you're thinking about bringing your child into Ultimate, full is not an option.
If it sounds like foul, don't name your child it.
Or something pick like brick. Don't call your child brick. Please don't. For other reasons as well. Oh. Shout out the middle.
That is a good throw by Ross. You know, the little elevator pitch finds tall man in the end zone. We like to see that.
The boss dealing with his subjects from a distance now. On the assist sheet too. Truly a flat hierarchy at his business. Mutiny on match point.
And that's another time that Ross Bentley graces the score sheet, which is important to notice. I think he's on 4 points this game. I don't think our scoreboard has updated yet, but 3 goals and an assist.
A man of fantasy, a man of your fantasy, he could be.
That's one handsome man. I think he's in many people's fantasies. Amsterdam, fine, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I meant my throw to Sam. You picked that.
Mutiny looking to close this one off, get themselves an early into this game. We're followed by what is advertised as a heat break after this. 22 degrees, seeming to operate as too much for our British viewers.
That is hot.
How would that affect how you would even approach this game from the start, Jason?
I would start by not playing. Good grab by Nick. I found that not playing frisbee is actually sometimes more fun than playing frisbee. Good look by Johnsy to center the disc back to the middle, and we have a swing to Nick to Scott, and well weighted throw by Scott finds Brent. And what does Mullet Brent do? Mullet Brent finds Scotty again, and Scott does the thing that Brent was thinking about doing, and there we've got a score.
A little bit of peanut at the end of that Sunday.
And that wraps up this game with a 15-6 scoreline. So over or under was actually, I was right on with 6. You can't play over or under if you hit the score exactly, huh?
That's why you gotta use half.
Over or under 6.5.
Yeah. Because then it's either 6 or 6.
Damn, clearly I don't know this game well
don't know
enough.
it well enough.
Ollie, tell us more about gambling.
Big fan. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ollie,
don't
have
wanna know the
you
stories.
won or lost money gambling over your life as a net?
Probably made millions.
Made millions.
Yeah.
Is that why Pops is driving around in a fancy car today?
Yeah. That's why
Wow.
I own 2 cars.
Shout out.
Gotta sustain your lifestyle somehow.
Self-made man, started with 2 billion in his pocket.
Exactly. Self-made millionaire.
Increased that to 2.1 in no time.
That's when I'm pulling out. If I've got 2.1, I'm like, cool. We're investing in real estate now. Darren, final thoughts before we wrap up this broadcast.
Jason, the more positive showing from Gradient. I think they can lift their heads up a bit from A, their previous encounter with Mutiny, and B, their earlier game today. Mutiny looking clinical as ever, finishing this one early, limiting our time, not getting paid for this, doing us a favor too, and looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
Good to hear, Darren. Let's see what else we can come up with before we let you go. I am just trying to find the other scores from around the ground. If we can quickly bring those up for you. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm currently stalling. Oh, well, I found the log, which is good to see. Currently, we've got Mutiny on top, obviously. 3 wins now, I believe. No, just 2 wins today, with a plus-minus of 23, which is quite convincing. My gents, Marties and Zephyr, currently fighting for second place, with them both being at 1 win apiece. And Gradient and Man Cubs are currently 0-2, so they are fighting over the last spot. So depending on if Cape Town gets 3 or 4 bids, that's going to be very interesting to see. Score currently is 7-11 to Zephyr, and so that game looks like it's starting to get wrapped up and come to an end. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a lovely afternoon. We'll be back for more Frisbee in a bit, so feel free to tune in then, or not. I don't know who's playing, so you'll just have to tune in to find out.
Until then, please watch the qualifying and don't tell us about it.
Yeah, watch qualifying that happened at 8 o'clock, and make sure you don't tell me what happened, otherwise I'll be very upset.
Nippon!
Thank you, and goodbye.